Hi everyone, Bianca here from the vitalityguideforwomen.com, and today I want to talk about a food that is so near and dear to my heart, the lovely kale. Now, if you aren't eating kale, first I want to ask you, why not? And second, I'm going to say I probably know your answer, and it just doesn't taste good. Now, we hear that we should all be eating kale, but no one ever tells us how to prepare it and how to handle it so that it comes out beautifully every time. So the thing to know about kale is that kale is a cabbage, not a leaf. So it requires a little bit of TLC in order to eat it raw. And if you are going to eat it raw, you're getting the most antioxidants, the most phytonutrients, the most of those benefits that you get from kale. But it requires a little bit of work. So I'm going to show you what you need to do with kale in order to make it meal ready. So because it's a cabbage and not a leaf, it has a really tough outer layer. So if you put it in salads and things raw, it's gonna taste really disgusting, it's gonna be really hard to chew, and it's gonna be off-putting. So what you wanna do with your kale is first you wanna zip it. Now zipping kale is taking the leaves off of the stems. That is just an industry term for taking the leaves off the stems. Now the stems are perfect for juice, and I'm going to show you a juice recipe at the end of this video, so stick around. But the leaves are perfect for salad, but there's some things that you need to do in order to get it ready. So we are going to massage our kale. Now this does a few things, but the most important thing that it does is that it weakens that tough outer membrane and makes it easier to eat raw. So you're gonna need some salt and pepper. I have just a salt and pepper mix. You just sprinkle it around, and then you're gonna need oil. So you can use olive oil, coconut oil that's melted, which is what I'm using, walnut oil, peanut oil, any oil that you want. You just want something that is going to lubricate the experience and make the kale sort of yield more easily. So I'm using coconut oil, melted or raw, and massaging kale is exactly what it sounds like. Massaging kale. You want it to really yield. Yield is the key word of this video. You want the kale to yield. Now, a few facts about kale that are really important. They say that kale is the new beef, and the reason that they say this is because per calorie, kale has more protein than a T-bone steak. So for vegans or vegetarians, and people say, well, where do you get your protein from? Point them in the direction of kale. And as far as antioxidants go, you know, you always hear about spinach being really high in antioxidants, blueberries being really high in antioxidants, but kale supersedes both of those by a mile. So this is a really powerful food. It's one of the best foods that we should be eating. I eat this every single day via a juice or a smoothie or a massaged kale salad. I just make sure that I have kale at least once a day. So once you've been massaging for a while, the kale is going to look like it's been sauteed or steamed. It's going to be a little bit more vibrant in color. It's going to be shiny, of course, because you have used the oil. And it's going to be ready to be eaten in salads. And the way that you'll know is that it just tastes good. You're just like, yeah, that tastes like a salad leaf as opposed to a cabbage leaf. So now you know how to massage kale, and you can eat kale raw when you do it this way and harness the true goodness of kale because it's raw. So after this, I'm going to show you how to make a delicious juice creation using the remaining kale stems. So now it's time to juice. So I'm going to tell you about what we're going to put into our juice and the reasons that I'm doing it. So we have lemons, and we all know that lemons are super effective at detoxifying our livers. But a thing to note about juicing any type of citrus is you want to peel it, and you want to take most of the peel and the white pith out. If you don't and you leave it on, that will make your juice bitter and make you not want to drink it. So get the best of your fruit, and your citrus fruit rather, and peel it. Then we're going to be using pears. These are organic Bartlett pears. And just because I really like the flavor profile of pears, you can use apples, but there always needs to be something sweet so that your green juice has some palatability to it. And then we're going to use dandelion greens. Dandelion greens are one of the top 10 detox foods. It really helps to detoxify the body really effectively. So it's really good in a juice, a really fast and effective way to get it to your cells. Cucumber. It's like drinking water, so super hydrating. There's lots of minerals in cucumber, and again, it just yields a lot of juice. And then, of course, our kale stems. The ones that the kale stems from the kale that we just zipped, we're now going to use in our juice. So I want to talk about organic versus non-organic. Now, there are some things in this group that are on the Dirty Dozen list, so they are required to be organic because they are so heavily sprayed. So dandelion greens, because you're using them as a detox food, you want to make sure that they're as clean as possible, so organic. Pears, apples, things of that nature are on the Dirty Dozen list, so organic. Cucumbers are also on the Dirty Dozen list, so organic. However, if you are buying lemons and you're going to be skinning them and taking the skin and the pith off, you can go non-organic because it won't be on the interior and the skin is generally quite thick. I don't want you to think that if you buy one of those vegetable washes that you're able to wash away the pesticide residue. That's not possible because they're sprayed continually, so the skin grows with pesticides in it, so it's more than just you can't just scrub it away. So unfortunately that's the deal. Download a copy of the Dirty Dozen list, and when you're out buying your groceries and you're thinking of juice ideas, refer to it. And if you don't have organics in your budget, make juice out of things that aren't on the Dirty Dozen list, that are on the Clean 15 list. And you can download and you can find images of those on the internet pretty widely. So let's do that, just to keep our bodies healthy. So we are going to fire this on. We're going to get going. And that is going to do it. It's really that simple, making green juice. Of course you need a juicer, but you can sort of be free and wild with what you put into your juice. So long as you like it, you can do whatever you want. So you'll see that it sort of has a two-tone appearance to it because there's the green from the dandelion and the kale and the skins of the cucumber, but there's also a lot of light from the pears and the lemons and the cucumber sort of flesh. So this is a really good thing to do for your body, for your liver. And now you know how to prepare kale so that it tastes delicious and loves you and loves your taste buds when it's raw. And you also have a delicious juice for the discarded stems. I'd say we tackled a lot of really cool things here today, and now you know about kale, so all hail kale. I'm Bianca from the VitalityGuideForWomen.com. I want to thank you again for watching my kale video. I hope you got a lot out of it. If you liked the video, please share it. Share how much you liked it in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And I'll see you next time. Bye.